Let one first establish oneself in what is proper and then instruct others. Such a wise man will not be defiled. As he instructs others, so should he himself act. Himself fully controlled, he should control others. For oneself, indeed, is difficult to control. From the Dhammapada. Hi, it's Margaret Maloney, and welcome to the Death Dhamma podcast. I'm a Buddhist practitioner out here in the world, having experienced the loss of my loved ones and knowing how much my Buddhist practice helped me on my grief journey. And now, together, we have this safe space to discuss death, dying, grief, and the Buddhist teachings that help us really understand attachment, impermanence, being compassionate, being death ready, what it means to live a life so that we can have a peaceful death. Yep, it's a big topic, and we're going to take it on together. Let's go. Does the passage you just heard from the Dhammapada mean that we are not able to help others unless we are fully qualified? It depends on what it is you are doing and what it is you are teaching. Additionally, we are instructed to make sure that we do not neglect our own well-being. Another passage from the Dhammapada states, "For the sake of the other's welfare, however great, let one not neglect one's own welfare." To say that you should be established in what is proper and be fully controlled is more specifically about teaching the Dhamma. The Buddha did not want uninstructed, uncontrolled, ungrounded monks or nuns, intentionally or unintentionally, leading others down the wrong path or spreading false Dhamma. This makes so much sense in our various ways of working. I am thinking of who we are in the secular world. We work with some type of craft or skill, and hopefully we grow. We start out as beginners, and some, but not all of us, evolve into experts. Depending on your craft, the journey from beginner to expert varies. Along the way, you are contributing, and possibly along the way, you are helping others. Because this is a secular example, for the most part, if you were not doing a good job, you would know. You might experience what I call career limitations, lack of recognition, demotion, even loss of your job. Now, back to Buddhism. You are probably wondering how I am going to tie this in with Bodhicitta and Bodhisatta, or Bodhisattva, or as some say Bodhisattva, as I just did, like karma or kama, Dhamma or dharma. It's a Pali versus Sanskrit kind of thing. So how am I going to bring this together? Sometimes we use the term bodhisatta to describe someone who we consider to be enlightened, possessing wisdom and compassion, living a life with the paramitas or perfections. It's a compliment, a way of expressing admiration. In a Lion's Roar article from 2018, entitled Modern Day Bodhisattvas, Pema Chodron makes this statement. There's an ideal in the Buddhist teachings called the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas are people in life whose purpose is to alleviate suffering. She is specifically referring to Father Gregory Boyle, founder of Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles, California. You don't have to be a Buddhist to be a bodhisattva. And now you see why we are considering this idea. This season is about those who help others become free from suffering. At this point, it's only fair for me to state that across our various Buddhisms in the world, the term bodhisattva can mean more than one whose purpose is to alleviate suffering. And I'm not going to take on a full expose on what bodhisattva means across our three major ways of being Buddhist, but the term does exist in Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. In the Jataka tales, the Buddha refers to himself as a bodhisatta, because it's in Pali, so bodhisatta, in the lives he lived before he reached enlightenment. A step on the path to becoming a bodhisatta, he developed thoughts and the intention towards becoming a Buddha. And this is called Bodhicitta. The Buddha was the Sammasambuddha. Some of you recognize that perhaps from chanting. The Buddha was the Sammasambuddha, or fully enlightened one supreme. Only one supreme Buddha arises at a time. But to be a bodhisatta, to have bodhi, or wisdom, or enlightenment, and satta means sentient being, so a bodhisatta is one who is devoted to wisdom or enlightenment. To some, a bodhisatta is also one who takes a vow not to enter nirvana until beings have been liberated, until all beings have been liberated. A true bodhisattva has developed the perfections, or the paramitas, which means virtues, or excellence, or highest perfections. The list of the paramitas differs across our Buddhisms, yet consistently calls for dana, or generosity, sila, or morality, khanti, or patience, and prajna, or wisdom. To be accomplished in the paramitas means to ultimately practice these virtues for the welfare and liberation of all beings. While there is much work to cultivating these virtues, yes, you can say that a bodhisatta does help to alleviate the suffering of others. Back to the secular world for a minute. You might vow to become the best in your field. For the purpose of analogy, we might call that bodhicitta, career bodhicitta. You have developed the mind, the intention. You have developed bodhicitta. I do not use this example to make light of the spiritual effort it takes to move forward on the path. And as you move forward towards becoming a bodhisatta, you take a vow. And in Buddhist practice, there is a bodhisattva vow. There are multiple versions of this vow, but you are expressing your commitment. Here's an excerpt from The Wise Heart by Jack Kornfield. Suffering beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them all. Attachment is inexhaustible. I vow to release it all. The gates to truth are numberless. I vow to master them all. The way of awakening is supreme. I vow to realize. Suffering beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them all. Again, attachment is inexhaustible. I vow to release it all. The gates to truth are numberless. I vow to master them all. The way of awakening is supreme. I vow to realize. So that is one version of the Bodhisattva vow. Who are our Bodhisattvas now? Well, the Dalai Lama comes to mind. And you could be living or working with a Bodhisattva. To be on this path, to take the vow, and to develop the paramitas means to be one who would not claim to be a Bodhisattva. So when we look at someone and admire their ability to help others, to dedicate themselves to alleviate the suffering of others, we might just call that person a bodhisattva. And it is likely that the person has developed the mindset to focus on helping others. They probably do have bodhicitta. Can someone who is at the bodhicitta step still be of service to others? Or does one have to become a full-fledged bodhisattva? You know what I'm going to say, right? Just as early in learning our craft we can contribute and do good work, so can one who has developed intention to bring ease to others. No matter where we are in our practice, we have the ability to help others. What we need is to use our discernment and wisdom in order to do so skillfully. Going back to our opening passage, establish yourself in what is proper and be mindful of your welfare. Then, as you look to ease the suffering of others, select the situations where you can help and do no harm. We don't ask first-year med school students to perform complicated surgeries unassisted, right? If you're new to a cause, take your time and learn about the cause. or hire experts who have more developed understanding in this way, so that even if you want to open up a nonprofit, you have someone with you who knows the way and can help ease the suffering of others and not bring harm. So you can develop your intention to help grow your skills and knowledge, and with hard work and dedication, you become an expert. You don't need to be a full-fledged bodhisattva to help others with their suffering. This season, as we speak with individuals who are helping others, they will not all have achieved the paramitas, but they will have all set their intentions, and now they are taking action. I've got books for you, starting with Carpooling with Death, How Living with Death Will Make You Stronger, Wiser, and Fearless, the book that got me going and helped me to discuss going through the death of my loved ones, followed by Sitting with Death, Buddhist insights to help you face your fears and live a peaceful life, based on Season 1 of the Death Dhamma podcast. And just recently, Enlightenment Unleashed, how your pet can lead you to spiritual transformation, because during our lifetime, we may see the rising and ceasing of many pets, and we love them like they are our family. Find these on Amazon.com or come see me at MargaretMaloney.com. You've been listening to the Death Dhamma podcast with your host, Margaret Maloney. Thank you so much for being here. Come find me on MargaretMaloney.com, MargaretMeloni.com. And until we meet again, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease, and may you be free from suffering. Bye for now.